All right, now you built this company yourself. Did you own the entire company or did you have outside investors?
No, I owned it from the very start.
Right from the start. Put your money in. That's the best way to do it, isn't it? And
Well, I
and you
bootstrapped it, and it makes me.
bootstrapping is the way it's I had to learn my lesson hard. My first company, I went out and borrowed some money. And you know what? I went through the money and I didn't figure it out and that company didn't work. After that, I bootstrapped them. And so I had to make them work to be able to eat. And that helped me. Now, you bootstrapped did all that for 35 years, but recently, I think recently, you sold your company to a bigger company, I guess.
Yes,
How
we
long
just
ago?
did. It's been about 60 days.
60 days. Tell me, because our people probably, we have so many people listening, they're entrepreneurs. I control my destiny. I like being an entrepreneur. I like being the boss because I'm going to be the right kind of person. And then all of a sudden, were you looking for a buyer or a buyer came to you?
A buyer came to me. Over the years, I've had so many people approach me through email and phone calls, and I would just drag them over into the folder in my inbox and keep them thinking, well, someday maybe I'll answer all those phone calls. But one day, a guy from New York just happened to catch me at my desk, and he engaged me in a conversation. He didn't sound like a regular banker type guy. He was just really friendly, and he got me to start to thinking about whether it might be the right time.
Really?
So it was really just this encounter with this person who I thought seemed like a really nice person I could talk to.
So he was kind of a financial advisor, broker, business broker type of guy. So he went out and found some people that would like to buy your company.
No, he was working on behalf of the
Ah,
company who purchased us. They were looking for someone to acquire, and they wanted to acquire a company in Austin. So he was making calls to other agencies to try to find an agency that might be interested in talking about that.
okay. Now, and that's that process. So he brought somebody to the table. Was this the
Yep,
first person they brought to the table? Was the one you sold to?
it is. But once we started having conversations with them, and this progressed very quickly, it became apparent that it would be silly and unwise of me to just march down the path with the first person who proposed. So we decided to do some research into what our other options might be and how we could be very smart about this. And we ended up with a guy named David Baker, who's a consultant to digital ad agencies around the world. And he really held our hand through the process. It was very important for us that his help made such a difference in understanding the
Yeah.
process and being smart about it. And right away, he introduced us to about 25 other agencies in his network. And within a short period of time, we had offers from 6 other
Wow.
agencies. Once we
Nice,
had
nice to be
agreed,
wanted, isn't it?
I couldn't believe it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Now, go back. Was your business continuing to grow? So they were looking at a business that had some scale to it. It was also was it growing at 5% or more or what?
Our business is like a roller
Yeah,
coaster. We're either growing very quickly or we're shrinking.
yeah.
So it's really normal for us to have these ups and downs.
Because your customers are probably short-term customers,
No, our customers are long term, most
long-term.
of them.
Now, what's a
We
long-term customer?
Well, Dell has been a long-term customer. We worked with Dell for 22 years.
I'd say that's a pretty impressive long-term customer, huh?
Yeah, but on the other hand, we work with well-funded startups who have maybe a 3 to 6 month engagement with us, and we handle their branding, their marketing. We get them set up with a customer acquisition program, and then they're gone.
Now,
So there's
did
a
you
variety.
did you think of rather than sell to somebody, did you think of taking your company public?
No, that would be just too ambitious for a company here in Austin that size. We
Okay.
we don't have the scale to
You
do
don't have the
that.
scale to do that, but you had enough scale for someone to come in and want to buy it. Now, so 60 days ago, this company bought you, and you came to a price, and your consultant helped you figure what the proper price. It's hard to value in it, a
It
company.
is.
of what's the proper thing, especially a private company. Do I do 2 times revenue, 3 times revenue, 4 times revenue, so many times earnings? Did you look at the scale? Was it based on revenue or based on earnings or a combination of both?
It was a pretty complicated
I bet.
combination of lots of different things. At the time, we were growing. We had just acquired 2 large clients, USAA and Citgo.
Yeah.
And they could see that we were on the path to growth. They could also see that they could add a lot of value to the work that we were doing for those clients, because while we focus on the digital marketing, they do things that we don't do. They do PR, for instance.
Yeah.
They have an in-house video team. So we could both see how together we could even be more robust and be a better offering for our clients than either of us alone.
So the company that bought you were not a public company.
No.
They're a private company, but they were somewhat bigger than your company?
Yes. They're about 3 times the
3
size of our
times
company.
All right. Now, usually when someone sells their company, they go off and start another company. But you stayed.
Yeah, that's typical in our industry.
Really?
Usually for 3 to 5 years, when an ad agency sells, they expect the leadership team to remain in place. And
Was that part of your buyout agreement?
Yes.
And they bought 100%. Did you keep equity in it, or you just sold to them and you now work there?
I now work there.
And you've
My
got
first job.
you've got a contract. Now, how does that work? Is that, you used to didn't have to report to anybody, but now you've got to send someone some financials and sales and this and that, and they're going to have an opinion on how you're doing it. And how's that working?
I love it, because the CEO of the company that purchased us is really good at the financial aspect of our business, which is the one thing I always hated.
Yeah.
It was the thing I was the weakest at, in fact. So that's just really been offloaded to him, and he's good at it, and he likes it. He has a gift for it, and I feel like we work together as peers. I'm still here in the Austin office, and we're managing our own Austin office still. So there's been very little really visible change from a management standpoint. I still feel like
You still feel like you're running your own company?
I still feel like I have a lot of autonomy, and actually I like it. I like having.
And you don't have quite the financial pressures that you had before.
Right.
And that's certainly worth something, huh?
Yes.